Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
How has your week been?
It's been good. Yeah, for the most part, it was good. I went to Chicago Pride for the first time, so I was able to finally experience all that is to experience with all of those big events for Pride Month. So that was exciting. It's a good start.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, last week I know we met and had our assessment. Just kind of talked a little bit about your background and things like that. Um, so I guess we can start just talking more in depth about the things that brought you in.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you went back to Chicago.
Yes.
Right. How did that go?
It went pretty well. Yeah, it went pretty well. I had a really good time. I had me and my boyfriend were there, and then also one of my other friends who also is part of the LGBT community. So it was really cool to experience that together. So the actual Pride was a lot of fun, and the weekend was fun, but it was still kind of stressful being at home, just because you always just like seems that you always have this pressure to make family members happy, but not happy with who you are. And that's like more focused on my dad's side, where you kind of feel like you can't talk about who you are, even though I was in town, obviously, with like my boyfriend and my and like for Pride, like the Pride weekend festivities. So like that's really why came back to town, but at the same time, it felt like I had to like hide those aspects because it made other people uncomfortable, and so that was definitely a hard time this weekend to deal with for sure.
So it sounds like you went there with your boyfriend for a pride experience or expo, but had to kind of hide who you are for your family.
Yeah, yeah, and that's always challenging because it was okay because it was just like my immediate family this weekend, but it's hard when that's something that you have to constantly deal with family or just like people you meet having to like not talk about certain aspects of your life because it makes people uncomfortable or people will say something that could be hurtful or could hurt obviously hurt Joel, and I don't want to be in those situations. So sometimes you have to pick and choose how you present yourself. So that's always like high pressure is to like think of how I am presenting myself to people. Yeah, it's like it's constant at times, which can really lead to you having all these different feelings where you just feel like you just don't meet the expectations of what people want you to be, even if that's not who you are. So.
So, do you feel like there's anybody in your family who you do feel supported by?
I think that yeah, like my mom is definitely awesome. She's always been really supportive, but Joel's the first person I brought home and the first like relationship that I've like shown my parents because I haven't been in enough serious relationships to actually feel the need or the desire to. So it's good that she's really supportive, and also my sister and my friends and everyone are really supportive as well. So that's good. And for my mom, she's obviously like super excited because I am her firstborn child. Um, so she's always been really connected to me in that way, and so she's always wanted to be able to see me in a relationship, but like I just haven't been that way because I wasn't out in high school or even through my freshman year of college, so she wasn't able to have that. So now she's really excited and like has been really attached with Joel. So that was really that was a big like benefit to like be able to have that, to be able to openly discuss like us without that being a problem.
Sounds like she's very supportive.
Yeah, she's really awesome and great and all that stuff. So.
That's great. Glad you have someone in your family,
Yeah.
even though you don't feel that support from your dad.
Yeah, it's good to have at least someone that you can connect with and talk about those things, especially when you don't have other people, so you're able to at least have someone that you can grasp onto, when, especially when it comes to like difficult things that happen, because there's always tough times in relationships or in life. So it's good to be able to go to someone that, because family's always like, despite what I think, sometimes family's always like closer. They're just part of your lives that other people can't be. So.
So wait, why don't we take the event of going home? It sounded like that kind of created, I guess, just several pulls on you.
Yeah.
Because you're with Joel and you're trying, accommodating him and showing him your hometown and meeting your parents, but then also trying to please your dad.
Yeah.
Things like that. So why don't we take that and kind of dissect it? Just try to go through, see what you were thinking about, and really think about those things.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I thought we could do it's called a thought runner.
Okay.
So I am a CBT therapist. I believe that when you think things, it can create certain behaviors, emotions, and then you act on those. So what we could try to do is see what you're thinking and try to kind of just see what changes we can make to make. We can't change your dad, but we can change how you think about it and how you perceive the situation and think about yourself. So if you don't mind, we can go ahead and go through that.
Okay.
I have a paper here. Just you can go through. I've already filled it out. Just go ahead and write it down. I'll guide you through it.
Okay.
Like that. So here's that. So first, first there's the situation. So So the situation this weekend, going home, I guess. Going home.
And I guess just having to like have those family interactions that are kind of like high pressure. So I guess high pressure family interactions. This weekend. Okay.
So what were the thoughts that you were having because of that situation?
I guess the thoughts that I was having would have to be, well, it was kind of stressful, so it kind of made me feel like I was not good enough compared to other siblings, because I just I remember interactions with my brothers at home, and it's not the same interaction with my dad that I get with him. So I guess it's just almost kind of like feeling like my value is less than others in the family, which can be kind of frustrating.
So an automatic thought, so sometimes that can be, oh, my dad is so mean. But really what an automatic thought is how do you think about that? So, oh, my dad is so mean, what does that mean about me? Not that it's true, but what do you think that means about you?
I think that a lot of times for me, it kind of seems to me that I'm almost worthless at times compared to others. So I guess that would probably fit here. Yeah.
How much did you believe on a scale from 0 to 100? How much did you feel like that you were worthless?
I feel like a lot of the parts of the weekend were good, so I wouldn't say all the time, but maybe like the 80% of the time, because I was with family so much that you always are having those thoughts in your head. It's hard to get those away.
Did you have any distressing physical situations? Yeah. like increased pulse rate, is becoming flushed.
Both of those, I think definitely, and you kind of just feel sick to your stomach sometimes because it's and try to get out, like get away from those situations because they can be really stressful to you if you just try to stay in them. So I would say, yeah, both of those. And it just like, makes you just really angry too. So you have a lot of like those thoughts with anger, so like and feelings with anger. So it makes you kind of like feeling really like anxious and just stressed out.
Okay. Well, you're already going into the emotion part, which is the next section.
Okay.
You mentioned angry. What are other emotions did you feel at that time?
I guess like being stressed, like I was feeling very stressed and frustrated and kind of I guess just sad about it because I don't feel like that's how like I should feel when I'm with family. I feel like you should feel happy. So that makes you sad that you like nothing that I did that I like, had to feel like that way sometimes.
So you feel like there's nothing you can do to, or you didn't do anything to make them feel like that.
Right.
This is what I'm hearing. You didn't do
Yeah.
anything to make them feel like that, so there's nothing you can do to change it.
Right. Like it's not something that if I like had done something wrong, like then it would make sense that like I would feel that way maybe because like then it would be my fault. But since it wasn't my fault, I don't think that I should have those like I don't want to have those thoughts, you know, when I'm around family.
Are there any other emotions that you felt?
I guess kind of going with stressed, like felt overwhelmed at times. Just because it's like a lot trying to like handle and deal with at one time. So maybe overwhelmed. Trying to think of some others. I think that kind of covers most of the feelings I was having during that weekend.
Did you feel any positive?
Yeah, definitely. I think I felt. I don't know if this fits in, but like a sense of belonging, sense. I think that like it's kind of a weird feeling, but for all the time, like in your life, being queer, you always are thinking like that you're different. Like everywhere you go shows you that you're different, whether it's going to the grocery store or going to dinner with Joel or anything. Like it's just like society's always showing you like that you're not the same as everyone else. And I went into Chicago and went to Pride, and it was like where I went was like a million people, and all of the people there were either like queer themselves or they were big supporters and allies. That I was like normal in that place, and that's like really the first time I felt normal and not the outsider in life. So it was really like sense of belonging and pride to be a part of that because I've never been able to feel that way before. So that was really exciting to me, and it just made me feel happy that I did get this experience, and I'm going to definitely continue and go back every year just because I'll be able to really just have that one time where I don't have to worry about anything. Like anything I'm doing, anywhere I go, I can hold hands with Joel, and it won't be something that I have to run away like I've had to do before. So, like, I just feel like it's something that I wish I could always feel, but like it was good to finally like have feelings of happiness and like belonging in a space for the first time in a long time.
I'm very glad you had that experience. Well, that sounds like a big contrast of, feeling accepted versus feeling angry and frustrated that you weren't accepted by your family.
Yeah.
That's very interesting that, you felt it on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, in just a couple days, like it really seems like I went from both thoughts like really quickly within like a day. So I guess that's probably good that I was able to have at least the positive aspects of the weekend to go with the negative.
Yeah. It's probably also a good relation to real life.
Yeah.
People either accept it or they don't.
Yeah, for sure.
It's probably going to be either one or the other.
Yeah.
At least in the Midwest.
Yes. From where we are here,
Yeah.
I think it's
In
definitely.
2014.
Yes, I think that there's definitely like a mixture. So you're always going to have to deal with like the negative thoughts you're going to have because they're going to come. But the positives obviously are starting to come more too, and it gives me obviously confidence to like have those positive parts happen because then you can see that it's not something that's wrong with me or it's just wrong with people who just don't understand.
Yeah. That's a good, very good awareness. Not just of yourself, but of society. That there's a problem with you. That's
Yeah.
very good, very mature. The next is an adaptive response. So, what cognitive distortion did you make? There's a list of different ones, but I guess what? What's something else that over here you feel that you said that you feel worthless. So on an adaptive response, what's something that contradicts that? So we kind of just talked about that about going to Pride and feeling accepted and things like that.
So I guess like one would be like there are like places where I am like feel like the sense of belonging. So like I can always those spaces always exist. You just like have to make sure to put yourself in those situations more often than not. So and remind myself that those exist. So I guess like there are places for me I guess that and maybe like that there are like people like that people do accept me like for the most part like I don't go many places like I go places where people don't but like I don't go more places than not and I'm feeling like this I'm feeling positive about myself I think most of the time so
there are people that support you
yeah and then I guess like obviously like having Joel there so it's not just me having those thoughts that we can both talk about those times like makes it really a comfort to me so I think that having him there is helpful and then I do have like I've been able to build a really good friend support group that are like family to me and I treat them like they are part of my family that I always see so that helps me like remember that there are all these people who support me and who love me and who create those like positive places for me so I guess friends support me and like me I guess
Okay. So looking at these adaptive responses, what do these make you? How can these change your automatic thought? So looking at these that you have, there are places that you can go that accept you. How does that make you feel? How does the others make you feel?
It definitely makes me feel like positive about myself. It makes me feel happy and confident in who I am and that it's not something that's wrong with me, that I guess like that I am just another person, which is a good feeling to have and not feel like I'm different all the time, but I feel like, I don't know, just like happiness and just feel like I'm worth more than what other people make me feel sometimes.
Something that is out proud that you are accepted, that
Yes. I'm accepted, I guess I'm loved.
Right. Does that make right here you have I feel worthless. Does that change that feeling? Looking at these positive aspects.
I think, yeah, looking at all these things over here, it definitely makes you feel like, reminds you that there are a lot of positives, that I shouldn't always just automatically think these things over here when like there's so many positive things going on for me that I kind of like lose sight of at times. So I think it definitely does help to look at this.
Wow, you're in luck. You get to keep this.
Woo.
So, and I would encourage you to use this when you are feeling upset, like you were this weekend. It's probably going to happen again. You're going to go home again.
Yes.
And, your dad's still your dad. And just, like I said, we can't change him.
Right.
But we can change how you feel about yourself and about your situation and just hoping you feel accepted.
Yeah.
Even if the situation doesn't seem like that.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to use this as a tool and practice it and in order to try to change some of those automatic thoughts that are not beneficial, that don't make you feel good.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to use that.
Yeah.
How does this kind of change your perspective for the next time?
I think it would be a good way to kind of, I'm open to the idea of using it just because the writing it down helps me like see the thoughts that I'm having and really helps me kind of think about maybe what I could do differently when I'm thinking. I can now look at this and see all the positives and then try to avoid having these feelings over here of being, feeling worthless. I think that that's not like a feeling that I really should feel inside. I should rather feel that I'm accepted kind of feelings instead.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad we had to Okay. Well, so like I said, you can use that throughout the week. If you could even just take it home with you, do one more through the week and bring it back so we can talk about it.
Okay.
And then we can meet at the same next week. If you need to change it, just give me a call and
Okay.
we can discuss this and move forward.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for coming in, and
Thank
I
you.
will see you next week.
All right. Sounds good.